shame, Sitaira, shame, 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 Sitaira, shame, 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 Sitaira, oh.
One day me been a bamboo down, and me see Sitaira lay down there, and me ask Sitaira what she do there. Sitaira ice up she penny good wine like a boxing gold. Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande, Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande.
Sunday morning I was passing, and me see Sitaira lay down there, and me ask Sitaira what she do there. Sitaira ice up she penny good wine like a boxing gold. Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande, Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande. Shame, 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 Sitaira, shame, 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 Sitaira, shame, 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 Sitaira, oh.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Sitaira pon the dam, and me ask Sitaira what she do there. Sitaira ice up she petticoat wine like a boxing board. Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande, Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Sitaira on the down, and me ask Sitaira what she do there. Sitaira ice up she very good by like a box of food. Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande, Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande,
Sitaira
momande,
oh Sitaira
momande,
Sitaira.
Shame, 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 Sitaira, shame, 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 Sitaira, shame, 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 Sitaira, oh.
One day me been a bamboo down, and me see Sitaira lay down there, and me ask Sitaira what she do there. Sitaira ice up she penny good wine like a boxing gold. Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande, Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande.
Sunday morning I was passing, and me see Sitaira lay down there, and me ask Sitaira what she do there. Sitaira ice up she penny good wine like a boxing board. Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande, Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande. Shame, 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 Sitaira, shame, 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 Sitaira, shame, 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 Sitaira, oh.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Sitaira pon the dam, and me ask Sitaira what she do there. Sitaira ice up she petticoat wine like a boxing board. Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande, Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Sitaira on the down, and me ask Sitaira what she do there. Sitaira ice up she very good by like a box of food. Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande, Sitaira momande, oh Sitaira momande,
Sitaira
momande,
oh Sitaira.
momande.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
So my relationship, nothing. He's a tenant in my place. Yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes. Yes. He is a friend of ours.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
Children, I must suffer them to take what I don't want to eat for myself. That is totally wrong.
What?
And the parents got to stand up.
Rhonda, really thank you for taking time out. I'm not going to let you go now. I know you're a very brave person. You're out there in front of GCOM. We're not seeing a lot of people out there, but give us an update on the protest every week in front of GCOM.
Tuesday we had 8 persons. Faithfully.
One second, Rhonda. I kind of like.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis E. Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Okay. For a moment, you guys thought it was just nothing there on the screen, right? I didn't even know how to start the program tonight. I don't know what to say to you guys. Hold on a quick second. Get it. Thank you. Thank you. Gosh, all these things coming in tonight, man. We got, wow, new bottle of cologne. Thank you. New iPhone. Thank you. Money's coming in. Thank you. Thank you. Checks. Let's see, how much is this check here? Wow, all these things coming in, all these favors. Wow, thank you. Wow, thank you. Wow, these business guys in, wow, all these things just coming in just like that. Wow. Thank you. Gosh. I'm so glad that I joined the Guyana Police Force. All these things just coming in, gifts upon gifts and monies upon monies. And you could go to the credit union, you could go to places, you can just live the good life, right? Good life as a policeman, as a policewoman. You can live the good life. That is why all these things just keep hopping in. Thank you. He just wants to give me a hug. All these things, you got hugs, you got kisses, you got monies, you got every single thing. It pays to be a policeman in Guyana, right? And now tonight, I don't want to paint all the police, men and women, with the same brush, but there are quite a lot of them, especially the senior ones, are so corrupt. It's no longer protect and serve. It's protect and grab. Give me that ring. And they know, oh, sorry, put it on the finger. If you catch a ring, you put a ring on it. All the gifts, come just bring everything tonight. Let me see who is going to. Leslyn Hamilton, what are you giving me tonight? Who else? Sandra Steele, what are you giving tonight? Rhonda Lane, what are you giving tonight? Sorry, Rhonda, I didn't mean for it to sound that way. But what are you guys giving? Where are the gifts? Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. We got to get the gifts. I don't know what rank are you guys going to give me tonight. Are you guys going to put me as the acting commissioner of police? Am I deputy commissioner? Am I a sergeant or just a lance corporal? What exactly? What's my rank, guys? Because it appears that the higher up you are in the Guyana Police Force, the more it raises your stakes, right? Whether you're the acting commissioner of police, it raises your stakes. Your association with questionable characters and all manner of things matter anymore. Those guys are there for the most part in the higher brackets of the Guyana Police Force. They're not there to protect and serve. At least they're not serving you. They know who their masters are. They know who they're serving. And as long as you give them a serving of whatever, whether it's chop suey, chop whatever it is, they accept it, everything. That is how the country is running. It is so corrupt at the highest level, not just in the Guyana Police Force, at Freedom House, at Office of the President. It's just corruption, corruption, corruption. Every single day we hear about these things. And for many years, some of us have been talking about it. And so for the few who have been talking about it, it's not a surprise. Hello, sorry I'm sounding like that, but it's not a surprise. These guys do not do police work. Many of them are just corrupt. They're there to take money, cover up cases, whether it's the paper shards case, whether it's other cases, drug cases. They're there to protect drug lords. They're there to protect money launderers. They're there to protect gold smugglers and all these sort of things. That is what they do every single day. That is what they do. Come on. Yeah, that is what they do. It is not about protecting you any longer. And then they trumped up charges against individuals, fake charges against individuals. You know how many folks are now in Camp Street prisons or Lusignan prison as a result of fake charges against them because of corruption in the Guyana Police Force? And you know, those policemen, they oftentimes just basically, those policemen, they oftentimes, oh, okay, got you. Sorry about that. You see, I come on the program and I talk loud as though, you know, I'm the boss, right? You guys see exactly what happened there. My boss stepped into the studio and I had to stop whatever I was doing. But the corruption in the Guyana Police Force, okay, thank you. Yeah, the corruption in the Guyana Police Force is rampant. Rampant. Every single thing. They protect drug lords. They protect corrupt politicians and corrupt ministers, corrupt acting so-called president. Every single thing is corruption upon corruption upon corruption. That is what's happening in Guyana. And everything is falling to pieces now. Don't think that this is an overnight thing, you know. It is constant banging away, and exposing, banging away at them. And so they have something say, what is it the crab man said? Pressure bust pipe by pressure bust pipe. So in the Guyana Police Force, pressure bust pipe. And that is what's going on right now. And what the PPP, what Jack Dewan Air Finale they're currently planning to do, They don't know where to turn to, because if they replace corrupt officers, guess who is right underneath there? Guess who are the ones? Another bunch of corrupt ones. So they have to move away. They have to navigate from the other set of corrupt individuals, because you're not going to be replacing corrupt officers with a bunch of other corrupt officers. And the good officers, for the most part, there are still some good officers in the Guyana police force who are being sidelined. And so the exposure right now, again, it's nothing new. Many of you guys in the audience, many of you are probably saying, we know that. We know that. You cannot have police officers who are living in huge mansions, houses that cost $60 million, $75 million, driving fancy cars and all these things, and investing. Policemen, and mainly the men, there are some women who are like that, they are business people. They drive around, they go to gold smugglers, they go to those who are on the sanction list of the United Force and United States and so forth. And that's how they get their money. Because y'all know the going thing in Guyana right now, you might as well just get some t-shirts and say, Moniga Mek. Get some Bokta and put it at the back and say, Moniga Mek. That's what's going on in the country right now. Moniga Mek. This is a Moniga Mek corrupt regime. And it's a shame what's happening in the Guyana police force, guys. It is a shame. Shame, shame, shame. Wasn't it that Calypsonian? I think it's the Mighty Rebel that's saying, shame, 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 what Guyana turned to. It is a shame. At every level in the Guyana police force, it is a shame. And they've got to get a shakeup. Our operator said that we have Annette Ferguson, who's a member of parliament. She's the shadow minister, not the shadow minister of home affairs, the shadow minister of housing. She is with us. But before we get to the honorable member of parliament and shadow minister of housing, let me just bring this here to you guys. Just imagine, look at this, Tanti Morrow. Take a good look at Tanti Morrow. Jack Deere, also known as the butcher from Unity. This is what this guy has to, well, sorry that I had to say it that way. This individual has to say, and I quote, "We take conflicts of interest seriously." So said Jack Deere. Are you kidding me? I mean, if you don't know Jack Deere, for those of you who didn't know this guy, as corrupt as he is telling you guys that we take conflict. Well, you know, the perception that he is corrupt. The perception that he's corrupt. Sue exposed him. Vice News exposed him. Isabella, of course, Isabel from Vice News exposed all these manner of things. That is what's going on in the country. But yet he sits at a so-called press conference and he says that they take conflicts of interest seriously. Really? Isn't this the same guy who was protecting Exxon from all these sort of things? And he had a lot to say and fighting against the Guyanese people on behalf of Exxon. All these things he was doing. Now, suddenly, he knows about conflict of interest. He didn't know about conflict of interest with Sue. And all those ministers don't know about conflict of interest, right? So now suddenly they know about conflict of interest. What else is happening before we get this Paku off the air, please? Get that Paku off the air. Not this Paku. We will deal with these individuals later on. You know, this is the new guy for administration. Is it administration? Guess what? He's no stranger to human rights violations. That's the guy. His name is Watts. But let's move away from Watts for a moment. Let's move away. The head of operations is Budram. Budram failed, according to information, polygraph test administered by a foreign embassy in Guyana. Failed it miserably. And this was the guy that they put at special branch, and then they move him now from special branch. He is in charge of operations. And when Hicken goes on vacation or wherever he's going to be going, hopefully soon, guess who takes over? Budram takes over, because Jack Deere is comfortable with Budram. If Budram doesn't take over, another one who had Soku by the name of Karim Baksh will take over, because Jack Jaywan finale are basically concerned with who becomes the next commissioner of police. And so the guys who are basically there to protect and serve and who are for the most part not corrupt, they do not want those individuals there at all. But the acting commissioner of police is not going to tell you guys that this guy failed the polygraph test when it comes to, what was it, questions about corruption, questions about bribery, questions about all manner of things. He couldn't pass it at all. And I suspect, and that's according to information, mind you, and I suspect this guy, Budram, is on the radar. Again, I repeat, is on the radar of U.S. law enforcement agencies. He is not the only one that's on the radar. There are lots of other senior ranks who are on the radar of U.S. law enforcement agencies. And a lot of them have had or gotten, their U.S. visas revoked. I don't know if the commissioner of police knows of all those senior officers in the Guyana police force who have gotten their U.S. visas revoked. Or maybe the commissioner of police, the acting commissioner of police, can say whether his visa was revoked or not. He has to say that, whether it was revoked or not. He has to also say, apart from his friendly connection there with Azraddin Mohammed, the guy who was sanctioned by U.S. law enforcement agencies and is set to be wanted by U.S. law enforcement agencies. According to information, is that he was, anyways, forget about that information for now, but according to information, he's set to be wanted by U.S. law enforcement agencies. And then there is this guy who, according to what we have been hearing from Sergeant Bascom and so forth, the police of Guyana were after this guy, Mark Richmond, who is said to have been, or probably still is, I don't know, a suspect in the murder of Paper Sharts. And so we saw what happened at that press conference where Hicken and the crime chief and all these guys wanted to cover this crime up. The death, the murder of Paper Sharts. It is alleged, based on what the allegations are, that Azraddin Mohammed is connected to that murder. Now, the police didn't arrest Azraddin. They didn't do anything at all. And then a couple of months after, guess what? Azraddin was basically giving out money to police and gifts to police who were lined up at his office on Lombard Street, and then suddenly they're giving out of gifts and they handing out a little money here and the little building a little small houses and all these things. And now many of you are beginning to say, so now we understand what's going on. But let's get back to this guy. According to information, this guy was once related, probably the son-in-law of Hicken. Now, Hicken is the one that's going to have to come out and say whether this is true or not. That murder suspect, Mark Richmond, shared an in-law relationship with Hicken. I don't know whether that's still the same. I'm hearing that there were changes, but whether this guy was once his son-in-law. And during the course, the investigation of the Paper Sharts murder, this guy was a suspect. So now things are adding up. Now, I'm not going to say here and say that these allegations, it's the truth. I'm saying that this is an allegation that's being leveled, but the acting commissioner of police has to come out to say whether he was once connected to Mark Richmond or not, and whether he has received gifts of vehicles and trucks and millions upon millions of dollars from the Mohammeds. Now, he has to say whether that is true or not. It is not for me to sit here and tell you that it's the truth. He has to say whether that's the truth or not. But let's move on. We have Annette Ferguson, member of parliament. She is with us. I'm told Lemon said that she sent him a note and said, Mark, you cannot get the honorable member of parliament waiting so long. And I'm like, the member of parliament will understand. We have one other quick item to deal with. Two. We're going to deal with this first. The Attorney General, Anil Nandalal, says, he dispatched a letter of request, a letter to U.S., what is it, the Justice Department, I believe, requesting all of the evidence for all evidence. You think the law enforcement guys in the U.S., the agencies in the U.S., dotish to just take all of the evidence and hand it to Anil? And then Anil will probably share it with Hicken. And Hicken, according to information, he has a really nice, cozy relationship with the Mohammeds and with others. And so you think the U.S. going to be sharing information? The only thing the U.S. probably may want to share is some, some handcuffs. All right, we'll move away from that for now. Well, let's get to this here. Simon Sean Anthony, 27 years, was gunned down early Thursday morning. Early this morning, this quote-unquote sex worker was gunned down in Georgetown. For what? I don't know. But whatever it is, there's no justification. Was this person targeted? Was this individual targeted? And for what? For what reason? Are they going after and attacking these sex workers, these male sex workers? What is happening in the country right now? It's a lawless country. Lawless country. I don't know. Kwame, what's going on here? What's going on here, Kwame? Talk to us, Kwame. Talk to us. All right. Guess what? Guess what? Miss Annette Ferguson with us, the Honorable Member of Parliament and Shadow Minister of Housing, with all the allegations of corruption that's going on in the Guyana Police Force and the fact that Jack Day owes you 20 million Guyana dollars. How do we find you tonight, Honorable MP?
Well, Mark, you always will find me in a happy mood. Always with a smile, always humble. That's just Ferguson. So let me take this opportunity to say a pleasant night to you and to your wonderful viewers here in the social media spectrum and also on the radio here back home in Guyana. And it's always an honor when I can appear on this program to share so that my people can be educated on things Guyana.
Thank you so much indeed. What's happening with the people in Sarah Johanna? Talk to us. The people were dislocated, they were kicked off, they were ill-treated. It is as though they're not human beings. And that is what the government and some members of the Guyana Police Force, they went there and they ill-treated those people. Shame on the PPP regime for that. What's going on?
Well, Mark, I had the opportunity of visiting the area there yesterday, and I met with several of the residents to get a sense as to what is really happening. What I was told is that the land apparently was owned by someone who resides outside of the country for some years now. And apparently, that person happened to be a client of Mr. Anil Nandalal. So the situation started, I think, just before the change in government in 2019. And, there are images out there, stories out there, where Anil Nandalal went into the area and he had discussions with the people. However, there might have been some kind of halt on this situation until the government changed in 2020 and the whole situation restarted again. Someone turned up in there claiming that I think one by the name of Mr. Bashk, turned up there claiming that he is the owner of this land. Mind you, many of the residents who have been living there in excess of 3 decades have never seen that individual before until I think it sometime in 2020, 2021. So when the situation got a little untidy in 2021, the people were able to retaliate and had the person who was claiming ownership of the land, to leave the area. So at that point, The Ministry of Housing went in. They had the people sign up application forms. Persons were allocated house lots. Golden Grove, block 18, I think it is, in the Golden Grove area there. There's just behind in the Caneville area, around that area there on the east bank of Demerara. Mind you, Mark, many of these persons would have paid $250,000 since I think in January 2021. We're nowhere July of 2024. And to date, these persons have not seen where the lands they have paid for, where these lands are located. So where are we today? Yesterday, I was told that they were invited by the Ministry of Housing for a meeting today. Just before appearing on your program, I did my homework to get a sense as to what the meeting was all about and how successful that meeting was today. Not much of a success, but to say that at the meeting today, the persons were told that the lands that they have paid for in the Golden Grove area, they will have to be refunded those monies, and tomorrow they will be taken to another area somewhere on the east bank of Demerara, probably to be shown where they will now be relocated. So,
Okay, let's take up in there for a moment. You said this guy who popped out from nowhere. God in heaven knows where he popped out from. We're hearing lots and lots of similar stories, not only in Sarah Johanna, but also right off the New Amsterdam's telling. There's another guy, Jafali or whatever his name is, and now we have another guy at Sarah Johanna Bach just turned up and say that he owns a land. Nobody knows where the heck he came from. And these are things, these are similar stories throughout the country, where these guys just popping up with some sort of record to say that, look, some sort of document to say that they're the owners of those land. We saw also what the people did to Lincoln Lewis and his folks' land out in Kingley. Anil Nandalal was also there encouraging what we saw on video, encouraging the people to go and occupy the land. All of these illegal acts we're seeing. And so I'm not surprised that I'm hearing a story of someone by the name of Bach. Not sure if he's related to Irfan Ali, but a lot of his relatives, we're told, are going around the country and just coveting people's lands. And so you're saying those people were promised lands in other areas. They weren't given anything. And now they were made another promise again as of today. Where do they go from there? How are they feeling based on this injustice against them?
well, to be honest with you, Mark, it is frustrating because remember, the area, though they were squatting in that area, there it is, Sarah Johanna area. They had their little homes, a place they call home. They were comforted and they were happy where they were living. Now to be displaced, now to have their place demolished and sleeping on the outside on the tents, being exposed to the element of coldness, the dew, and all manner of thing, even rain, because we're in the season of rain at the moment. So the people there quite frustrated. They went to the extent by saying, look, the People's Progressive Party Civic has to be held liable for what they're enduring at this point in time. Because what was actually in 2021, when the guy started to make his moves, right, and they were promised the lands, if the government was really serious in having them properly housed, by 2022, 2023, if possible, they should have been at some other area, already got their homes or their houses constructed and living quite comfortable. Now, 3 years after, the situation arises again, and still the government isn't pushing as they really should. Mark, look, they got a lot of houses they constructed in the Little Diamond area. that is currently unoccupied. Why can't you? It is 7 families thus far with 15 children. Why can't you, even if you have to put them up there temporary until you sort whatever has to be sorted, but you could have at least locate these people there temporary
You know
until
what?
you set
You know what?
whatever
They're
has
not
to be
they're not
set.
concerned. Don't keep your hope up high for that. The PPP is as corrupt as they are. They are inhumane. They are heartless. They just don't give a damn about the people. And so I was surprised to see your friend Kwame rush down there, hugging those little kids. And people got to be careful with that guy and little kids, especially little boys. Hugging, pretending as though they care about people, when in fact they just do not care at all about those people.
Yeah.
Shame on them.
Yes.
And now, as you met with the families earlier, it doesn't matter who they voted for. But what I do know from what I've been seeing is they are upset. And the fact that they are upset suggests to me that they are basically having second thoughts and regret ever voting, if they did, for these corrupt individuals in the PPP regime. And it tells me that they are next elections going to do the right thing, which is to vote these vagabonds out of office. How do they feel based on the treatment meted out to them by members of this corrupt PPP regime?
Well, yes, we did had that conversation briefly, and they they felt real disappointed, real hurt because that is a government, or the current government is the government that they supported in 2020 and have been supporting prior to 2020. And with what they have experienced from 2021 coming way down to 2024, they have said clearly that, well, look, come 2025, we have a hard decision to make, and we know exactly where we're going to vote and who we will be voting for. Because as it is right now, this administration has failed us tremendously. The people spoke about the oil money. Nothing is trickling down to them. We're not getting anything from the oil money. Why is it, Miss Ferguson, in this era where this country has a bounty of monies in the economy, why is it that we have to be living like this? I know what is the hurtful thing, Mark. Despite they're living in an unregularized area, the people normally they've procured a whole lot of these plastic drums so that whenever it rains, they will able to, catch water or have these drums filled. Last Friday, everything they had to throw out water so as to salvage the items from their homes. As of yesterday, there was no water. No water. All the drums were emptied. Today, when I checked in, still there is no water. Right? So this is what is happening. So people are actually clamoring for change because they have seen who who is the real beast, right? And they've made it clear that come 2025, they will be voting for change, voting on issues, rather voting on race and for a political party that they might be, aligned with previously.
It makes me smile. It makes me want to end this show right now. A political party that they may have aligned themselves with in the past. Okay, let us hope that that is what they're doing, to vote for any other, but particularly a coalition that other than this corrupt PPP regime. This corrupt PPP regime has to go. They just have to go. I see there's one buddy in the audience, Hazel Johnson, is saying talk is cheap. Talk might be cheap. Come elections time, people has changed their minds and all sort of things. But for some reason, I'm feeling it. I don't know if you're getting the same thing, in terms of the Guyana being a better place, and this corrupt PPP regime is voted out of office. Are you guys on the ground, in the opposition? Do you think you guys are doing enough to inspire the people to say, well, look, or encourage them, motivate them to want to go out next elections and vote these vagabonds out of office? Are you guys doing enough on the ground, Miss Ferguson?
Mark, I think with the little resources that we have and to our disposal, we have been doing work on the ground. Yes, I believe that more needs to be done, and I think we have started to work in that area. So, if you look, I think up to today, we had colleagues who were on the ground in several communities in South Georgetown. On Sunday, it was the same thing. So we have started to hit the ground. And yes, I think in the coming days, in the coming weeks, the coming months, you'll be seeing more of us out there because the people indeed wants to hear from us. The people indeed would like to know what are the plans we
One
have
second.
for a
The,
better
the
Guyana.
people, the people, the people wanted to hear from you guys from the very day this corrupt PPP regime was involved. But I'm glad that the people are hearing from some of you guys now. The people were out there asking, where are some of these people? Where are they? Where are they? But it's never too late for them to see you guys now. Um, I just had to say that there. I just had to say that. Let's move away as we look at the time because I want us to be out of here by 10 o'clock. Now, let me
Okay.
ask you, what's happening? What's happening with the voters list and all these things? Talking about the people want to see you guys on the ground, yeah. But what's going on with the voters list? It's heavily padded. What's happening?
Well, Mark, we know that there we have continuous registration on, and in this period we have claims and objections. I think which comes to an end sometime this month, if not Monday, later down in the month. What I do know is that the opposition, more so the PNCR, we have been advocating and clamoring for a clean voters list because we believe once the list is properly sanitized, scrutinized, we'll be able to have fair and free elections. But as it is here, Mark, despite the calls, despite the every week protests out there at GCUP, it seems to me that the government is hell bent in not adhering to our plea because I guess they have their agenda. And in order to get back into government, I guess the list is what their primary focus will be. But that will not stop us from calling for a clean voters list. We're also asking for biometrics because we believe that with biometric, it will not allow multiple voting of one particular individual. So we continue to do what we have to do out there, and I trust that the pressure will be applied. Probably we gotta start to up the ante a little more, put on some more heat so that we can get our voices and what we demand in a fair way. Because we have been calling for a clean voters list since 2020, 2021, from the time we demit office, because we realized then, coming out from the recount, what was the main reason and we recognize the PPP they had tampered with the list and all manner of things. So we recognize that the list is the major problem to our
When you
entire
say we,
electoral system.
the people have recognized that years now that the list is a problem. The people didn't
Yeah,
have to sit down and for you guys to recognize that.
no,
But
but
recognizing it, one second, please, ma'am. Recognizing it is one thing. Doing something about it is something else. You said that you guys have been calling. Hello, GCOM, Claudette Singh. Yeah, I'll do something now. Is that what you meant? What sort of calling you guys have been doing?
no, Mark, not like that. Not like that, Mark.
How?
I know that persons are out on the ground every Tuesday demanding a clean voters list.
You are
We're not doing this.
absolutely
We're
right.
not doing this.
You caught one
We're not
second.
doing.
You caught me there. I realize I set myself up for that trap. You are absolutely correct. We'll take a 30 seconds break.
So if I got children, I must suffer them to take what I don't want to eat for myself. That is totally wrong.
What?
And the parents got to stand up.
Rhonda, really thank you for taking time out. I'm not going to let you go now. I know you're a very brave person. You're out there in front of GCOM. We're not seeing a lot of people out there, but give us an update on the protests every week in front of GCOM.
Tuesday we had 8 persons. Essentially.
One second, Rhonda. I kind of like, honestly, I like that laugh. I'm going to rephrase, I'm going to ask the question again. And
Man, don't make me laugh, man. I tell you.
Rhonda, one second. One second, Rhonda. I'll ask you the question again. Rhonda, can you give us an update on the protest in front of GCOM?
Man, he had 8 persons at the protest.
8 persons. Thank you so much, Rhonda Lane, who's watching us. 8 persons at the protest every Tuesday. I cannot recall when was the last time I saw any member of parliament out there, including you, Honorable MP. Why is it such an important thing, like calling for a voters list to be cleansed, that and it is heavily padded, but we're not seeing you guys out there? The last time you were out there, I believe, was either sometime in January. You were out there with a couple others. Y'all took a quick selfie and disappeared. Why aren't you guys out there with? Why aren't you guys out there with the people on the ground if this is so important? A woman like Rhonda Lane and a few others are out there every single day. I mean, every single week for the most part, protesting for something that is so important, but you guys who are there to represent the people do not show your faces there at all. Why? Why have you been absent from there?
Mark, this is not any way where the opposition is being disrespectful to any of the persons who show up there willingly every Tuesday. I must let you know, Mark, that in many cases on Tuesdays, the opposition, we meet as a parliamentary opposition from 10 in the morning, which will go sometime way after 2 o'clock, sometime 3 in the afternoon. So in most cases, when we're not out there, is as a result of us being involved in other activities. And I mean,
meet where?
no,
And
we do.
about what?
No,
Meet where?
we do have parliamentary. We do meet as a parliamentary group, Mark. We have parliamentary group because we have business that we have
But when
to
you guys
discuss.
meet, and they get the likes of a Rhonda Lane out there in the sun, and when it rains, none of you guys drop by there to say hi. Hi. Y'all meet, but doing what? Eating fried rice?
No, no, Mark, you see, let me just make this very clear to you and to your listeners.
Yeah,
Mark, please. As opposition MPs, we also, because remember, it's like government in waiting. So we meet as a cabinet to discuss parliamentary agenda. We also meet to discuss other parliamentary, extra parliamentary activities. And I'm saying to you, Mark, I'm saying to you that majority of the time, the meetings the parliamentary, the opposition parliamentary group meetings do collide with the timings of the protests that we have out there. And let me say this, majority of the
wait
time...
Wait a minute, please. For months upon months, that meeting is taking place, and y'all don't even have 5 minutes to stop by there and hold a placard as something as so important. Y'all meet from tens of times. When was the last time y'all had this meeting? Last Tuesday?
No, we didn't meet last Tuesday, Mark. We did not.
The previous Tuesday?
It might have been about 2 Tuesdays ago, Mark. But I believe
all the MPs meet.
most of our MPs are on that
So
call.
why can't you guys take 5 or 10 or 15 minutes out of your time to go and stand in front of GCOM, just like Rhonda Lane and all those people?
Okay,
Talk
Mark.
to us.
No, I wouldn't fight on this evening. I believe that it is something that we really need to discuss as a parliamentary group, and make the necessary changes. That is what I would want to see at this point in time, Mark.
This is
On this
something that has been going on since these vagabonds have been installed over 4 years now. And at this point in time, 4 years after, y'all still got to discuss as a parliamentary group.
But Mark, you cannot say that you've never seen an MP standing holding a placard.
I never said that.
Been
I'm
out.
talking about in front of GCOM.
No, I'm
Go
not
ahead.
saying that I'm not saying that you've said that, but I'm just trying to make it clear here that I know of times which I was out there, I held placards. And I know of other colleagues who were out there and they too held placards.
When was the last time you went in front of GCOM? Since January was the last time I saw you.
It seems as though you're checking up well on me. So you have confirmed January.
I'm checking up. Look, Miss Ferguson, you're here not for me to attack you or try to embarrass you in any way, shape, or form. But all I'm saying is that something as important as the voters list that needs to be cleansed, you guys should make that a priority and be out there, just like Rhonda Lane and others. They have stuff to do as well. We haven't voted for Rhonda Lane to represent us, or the others, the 7 others out there to represent us. They're ordinary citizens who believe that it is important to have a clean voters list. Why can't you guys take a cue from those 8 or 7 or sometimes 3 or 4 persons out there? Ordinary citizens.
Mark, as I said, this is a matter that we will have to discuss thoroughly.
Why gotta discuss it? If I'm a member of parliament, me gotta discuss nothing. I going out there with the people. What y'all gotta discuss? 4 years now, y'all been discussing it, man. 4 years now. Oh, Miss Ferguson, what y'all need? Another year to keep discussing it?
No, you might want to find different strategies. So obviously, if you want to employ different strategies, you got to discuss collectively how you're going to fight differently. Yes, protests might be one. You may want to come up with another strategy that will not allow me to, to share on this platform here this evening, because I'm speaking from
Ms. Ferguson,
an individual.
At 56 minutes after 9 o'clock, don't bluff us here. There's no other strategy y'all want to discuss. And there's no other strategy. No other strategy y'all have to discuss about anything. The fact is, you guys have been left wanting. And the fact that you guys have not gone out there, it is a disrespect to the people, and it doesn't show the seriousness with regards to the voters list and the padding of the voters list, and the fact that it is heavily padded, and you guys come on shows and give the impression that it is so important, but yet it is not important to properly confront those corrupt individuals at GCOM. If it is so important, then you guys would be out there as well. Not only every Tuesday, but almost every day, to send that message. And once you guys are out there as often as possible, guess what? It encourages the other citizens to go out there and stand with you guys.
I agree.
What's happening with the housing sector? What's happening with housing? You're shadow minister of housing. What's going on with housing? But you're gonna come up with another excuse. But you realize for the past half hour, all you've been saying is but but let's get you another
I'm not coming up with no other excuse here, Mark. Serious business. I was about to make the point just before you went off on the housing sector, is that to say to you, yes, I do agree with you that the cleansing of the list is paramount, and it's very essential that we get a clean voters list. But what I just can't understand, Mark, and many of your viewers would recall that in 2015, after the 2015 election, but 3 months after, Mr. Jagdeo was on air saying that the voters list is heavily padded. He wants a clean voters list. He wants then GCOM CEO to go. He wants biometric. The very things that we are now clamoring for. He was asking for them some couple years ago, some 9 years ago. But the point here, though, Mark, is that the Granger administration, you would recall that in 2019, we started house to house registration, and they hurriedly ran to the court, putting an injunction to stop the house to house registration. But anyway, moving forward, you've asked me about the housing sector. Look, Mark,
But
I have been.
Before we get to the housing sector, but that was years ago, and those Pakus, Jagdeo and them, were in the opposition, and they were fighting. You guys are now in the opposition. For 4+ years, we've been hearing that the list is bloated. We're hearing that, of course, it's heavily padded. We are hearing that people who ought not to be on the list are on the list, but we are not seeing the opposition being aggressive enough to confront the issue. Forget about what Jagdeo did and what he said about the list. The question is, what are you guys doing? Are you guys going to wait until elections come and probably gone to start complaining about the list again? We've been hearing politicians on your side of the bench talking about Claudette Singh gotta go. We've been hearing about a lot of your politicians, and your colleagues on the other side are talking about the list. All we're getting, Ms. Ferguson, and this is not just about you. All we're getting is talk, 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 talk. The list is bloated. We're not hearing anything from the opposition commissioners there at GCOM. All we're hearing about, the list is bloated. The list is bloated. Something has to be done. And we don't really want to say what has to be done because I can't really say it. And then tomorrow, y'all gone and drink little swank somewhere and eat polori and forget about the real concerns of the people.
I hear you, Mark.
Talk to us. What's happening in housing? So many
Well,
people
Mark,
are frustrated about the
well,
corruption in the Ministry of Housing and all these sort of things. What are you doing as shadow minister of housing? What are you doing? Talk to us.
well, Mark, I have been doing a whole lot for the housing sector. And I must
What
let
are
you
five
know,
things? What are 5 things you have done since the start of this year for the housing sector? Talk to us.
one, I had several questions tabled in the National Assembly as it pertains to housing, with regards to pricing, the allocation of house lots, and why is it taking so long for persons to be allocated their lands. Secondly, I have been visiting many sites, construction sites, more so to have an inspection of how and the quality of the
So
houses that are being constructed.
you're an inspector now. You got to visit
No,
these construction sites.
no, Mark, you asked me 5 things that
One
I'm doing
second.
as
What are
as I'm
you
saying.
visiting? One second. What are you visiting those construction sites for?
Mark, to ensure once persons are living in the houses, to find out from them whether they're satisfied with the quality of houses that they're currently living in. Because um, research has proven houses constructed by this very administration, when the coalition took over, we had to repair. We spent in excess of $2 billion to rectify defects of houses constructed by the People's Progressive Party Civic. So you want to get a sense from the homeowners whether they're satisfied. So at least when you get the information, you're now in a better position where you can go and represent their concerns, Mark. So the work is on the ground. How do you expect me to go and represent the people? Just sit in front of a computer and expect that the information will flow? I have to be out there. I tabled a motion in the National Assembly calling on the government to reduce the pricing of house lots for the ordinary people in this country. You know me,
When
Mark, I
when
try my
when
best.
when
I tried my
when
best.
when when
Yes,
you were
let me hear
Minister
you.
of Housing, when you were Minister of Housing, did you made such a suggestion to lower the prices for house lots and so forth? What did you do when you
Ma-
were minister with
Man,
that
I
in
was
that regards?
no, okay. I will address that. And you know, I gotta backpedal a bit, Mark, and for you and your viewers, because people believe that Ferguson was the only minister of housing. I served at the Ministry of Housing from April 2019, April 26, 2019 to August 2nd, 2020. Under my tenure as Minister of Housing, one, we were able to have the 50% promo for the 50th Republican anniversary celebration in February of 2020, of which we reduced prices for house lots for people. When people came to me to say, well, look, they're finding it difficult to pay, whether it's at 500,000, at least you take off something for them.
And was there
So that
something?
is, no, Mark, you might have taken off a little 100,000, right? 100,000, because we know the state of some of our people. They find it very difficult. If people now in Sarah Johanna is finding it difficult to pay $225,000 for a house lot, you could imagine the state that our people are in. So as a minister, I tried under the circumstances. I tried. As an MP opposition, I'm still trying. Mr. Mark Benchcop. So it's not a case whereby you're not doing anything. Yes, you may not be putting everything out there that you're doing, but I'm doing a whole lot of work on the ground.
Okay,
If people bring
and
their
I must agree.
no,
I
listen to
must
me,
I
listen
must
to me,
agree with
Mark.
you that I must agree with you that under the coalition, house lots were addressed for the most part, and the PPP regime have had people waiting for a house lot, a little piece of house lot, for 20 years and over. And I must agree that the APNU AFC government did a lot to address the issues. I want to ask you
Mark,
though. You said that you were out visiting sites, inspecting sites. I want you to know that people didn't vote for you to go out and inspect sites. They didn't vote for you to be an inspector.
Mark,
What
probably it
were
was a
the
bad
two?
word I used. Probably
Name
it was a
name
bad
two
word.
sites. Name two sites that you have inspected, Inspector Ferguson.
No, I'm not
And
Inspector Ferguson, Mark. You remember,
what were
as an
some of the
opposition,
defects?
no, would you listen to
What
me?
are what
As an
what are some of the
opposition,
defects?
as an
What are some of the
opposition.
defects?
Wait,
What are
Mark,
some of the defects?
Mark, wait, Mark, give me a chance, the man. As an opposition
I've
MP,
given you I've given you a chance
yeah,
of 4 years. How much more
no,
chance you want?
man, like you call me on this program tonight for beat up on me, Mark. But let me tell you something. As opposition, it is our responsibility to expose, oppose, and depose. So if I am shadowing housing or any sector, and I know that monies were approved in the budget to build 500 house lots, 500 houses, right? I know the areas. I will go into those areas to see exactly what is happening. That is why in the 2024 budget, just before the budget, I visited LBI. That's a scheme that was actually developed by the coalition government. It's just a case whereby the PPP was able to continue the development because we give out house lots in those areas. I went into LBI, Mark, on the east coast of Demerara. You know what I found on the ground? One area, the eastern area, where ordinary people were allocated. They ain't get lights yet. They ain't get water yet. Yeah? People are struggling to construct their homes in that particular area. People got to be using trench water. They got to be purchasing drums of water every single day to have their cement mixed. They got to be using generator to get their tools or equipment work on the project site. While on the western half of the area, you got lands that were given to private developers or private contractors who are building these young professional homes. You know what is happening there, Mark? Transformer in, electrical poles already planted, electrical wires run, and they're getting water. The other area that I visited, Mark, it is the Peters Hall area or Prospect area. That was another scheme. That was another area established under the coalition government, of which we allocated lands before we left office. When I went in there, the people were able to identify the houses, the young professional houses, of which people paid close to $17 million for, Mark. The defects, cracks in the ceiling, cracks in the walls, water seeping down. All these things I was able to raise in the National Assembly. I went to Little Diamond, Mark, another area where they've started to build these little houses. The people complained what they're experiencing. Again, I was able to highlight these matters. Matters came to me, Mark, of which I was able to engage the Minister of Housing, Mr. Colin Crowell, concerning young people who took a loan, pay contractors, and today they can't get a complete house. Just Monday again in the National Assembly, I followed up with him to find out where we are. So it's not a case whereby the MPs aren't working. Well, let me speak for myself. It's not a case whereby Ferguson ain't doing nothing because you ain't seeing nothing out there. Ferguson is working behind the scene. So I just want to put that on record, Mr. Mark Anthony Benchcop.
Thank you, LBI, Little Diamond, and those places. I must say thank you for visiting those areas as Shadow Minister of Housing.
And I forgot to mention number 75 Village on the quarantine. I was there too.
What happened on the number 7?
Yeah, we again the coalition.
When was that issue on 75 Village on the quarantine?
No,
75?
I went to number 75 Village, Torreverton area.
Okay.
Torreverton. Because we give out lands in that area, 75 and 76. You hear me, Mark? Yes. And I can tell you, the people have not started to build as yet because one, some of them didn't even get the title or the title as yet. Number one, the area is not even developed. No roads as yet, no electricity. The basic infrastructure is not in place. So I've been doing what I have to do, Mark, as an MP.
And thank you so much for visiting those areas. Gosh, Linden has some problems too, some serious housing problems, corruption by the PPP regime. Pay them a visit too, Aituni and Kokwani and those places too. Bartica.
I hear you, Mark.
Closing remarks, because I did promise to get off at 10 o'clock. And no, I didn't call you here to beat up on you. You know, you and I go way back. But it's just then that I believe that our elected officials have to be held accountable. This is not a show where we just come and sit down and eat a mabi or pulori and sit down and gaffity. It's serious business. And the people's business is always a serious business. And putting friendship aside, yes, we have gone way back. And I didn't bring you on this show to beat up on you. I wouldn't beat up on you on the show or off the show. I have a lot of respect for you guys as MPs, but all I want you guys is to do your job. Some of you guys are lazy. Some of you guys don't work. Some of you guys don't like to go out and protest. Y'all want to be sweet boys and sweet girls. Time have long passed for that. Elections just around the corner. and the people are not going to sit back and tolerate lazy politicians. Now, I'm not saying that you're lazy. You're saying that you've been working a lot behind the scene. But politicians should not just work behind the scene or tell people they're working behind the scenes. The people want to see the evidence of work. Your
Well,
closing
Mark,
remarks.
well, thank you very much, Mark, for giving me the floor. Before I get to my closing remark, look, Mark, the evidence is there for you to see. And I'm going to say to you, Mark, I have my Facebook page, Honorable MP and Honorable Annette Ferguson MP. I would encourage you to visit that page to
I
see
didn't.
the type how
I
active.
didn't. 1 second. I didn't vote. The people didn't vote for you or
No,
no other. No other. 1 second. No other MP to get into office for you to say that I must drop what I'm doing to go to your page or another MP page to see what they're doing. Y'all got to make the news. Y'all got to go out there. Y'all got to stand up and y'all got to confront this regime, even if y'all got to get locked up and break down for a night or the penitence for 2 nights. Look at Roxanne Myers and all these people locked up wrongfully. We want to see our politicians brave enough and courageous enough to be out there to stand up against a corrupt regime. That is what we want to see. Don't direct me to your Facebook page.
Mark, no, you see, you didn't allow me to develop my point, you know. You got
You
this way
directed me
of
to Facebook page.
you
I
got
don't want to
this
go
way.
on your Facebook page to see you
No,
quoting Proverbs 3:5 or
no, Mark,
Ecclesiastes.
no, no, Mark, no, no. To be
Your
honest
closing
with you,
remarks,
no,
please.
no, no. Serious business. Look, you know today, I'm gonna show you this. Today, I posted on my page the two recent bills laid in the National Assembly. One has to do with the repealing of the Domestic Violence Act, the Domestic Violence, yes, Act, which will be replaced by the Family Domestic um, Bill that was tabled in the National Assembly. We also had the Matrimonial Clauses Bill, the Amendment Bill was tabled in the National Assembly. You know, Mark, many of our people are unaware of those bills being tabled in the National Assembly. So I also use my Facebook page to educate the citizen. I also have a program that I, use to educate the people because, Hosea 6:4 Mark in the Bible reminds us that our people perish, our people perish because of the
For the
lack of
lack of,
knowledge.
yeah. Well,
Knowledge.
I'm
So
on your
that's why
page.
it's
I'm on
coming.
your page. I'm on your page right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're the shadow minister of housing. The first thing I see that you return from some primary school.
No,
The
you have to
meanest,
go. You're looking at
and
my.
then 1 second. And then an hour ago, you have the devil is after the male seed. We need to stay for male folks and nation. Annette Ferguson. Hours ago, another fire has claimed a life. What is it? And then 9 hours ago, you gone into the deputy commissioner of police. And then 10 hours ago, my condolences to the Fraser family. TV. But I'm not seeing anything at all about housing matters. Nothing at all. That is your ministry. That is your portfolio. I'm seeing here,
Because
God loves you. And then another post, God is going to go after Mark Benchop after what he did with me on this show tonight. How you posted that so quickly? Everything, look at your
Mark,
page.
no,
What's going on?
Mark, you're looking at
People want to see
my
protest. People
no,
want to see protest.
Mark,
Protest on your page.
no, you're looking at my profile. You have to go to my Honorable Annette Ferguson MP page. That is the page you gotta visit. You will see all that you're asking for. But anyway, Mark, let me give my closing remarks. So, Mark, I'm really happy to be here this evening to share with you and to also inform our people as to what is happening at the in the area there, Sarah Johanna, and also in the housing sector. And I want to say to Guyanese, whether home here or abroad, that change is coming. I believe deep in my heart that change is coming. And I can assure you that the MPs and those in the opposition, we will continue to work to advocate for for our people and to also represent our people because I know for a fact that this is not an easy task, and I know that many Guyanese are hurting, but I can assure you, my brothers and sisters, that we will continue to push for push more harder so that at least we will be able to get the results that we're looking for. So I want to say, Mark, though you may not be seeing us fighting outside that the way we ought to fight, I know that we have been standing up against the government in the National Assembly. And the other thing, Mark, what you have to realize
The National
is that
Assembly meets once in a blue moon. Once in a
yes, but
blue moon.
yeah, but while the National Assembly meets once in a blue moon, Mark, I know we have the press conferences, we have other colleagues that
I haven't
host
seen you. I haven't
programs
seen you at the press
and so
conference
forth.
for a while. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, Miss Ferguson, but I wouldn't give you guys a good grade as of now. Y'all got to do more. But how would you grade yourself, though? Be honest with you, from A, a B, a C, a D, a E, a F. Be honest with your grading tonight as we go. What will you give
You,
yourself? Grade
you're not
yourself.
you're not gonna be honest, Mark. Obviously, any good student that does good work
You
will
can't.
want
No,
to.
no, no. Let me say that one of the things that I respect about you is that you're so honest, and I'm almost certain that you were about to give yourself a C minus.
No, 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 Mark. C minus. That's
What
way
would you give?
below. That's way below for the 5%, Mark. That's
How would you?
way
How would
below
you
for.
grade? How would you grade yourself?
To be honest with you, Mark, I will grade myself B plus.
Hold
More.
on a second. There's the Wonder Lane laugh. You guys got to do more, Miss Ferguson. We appreciate you guys, but y'all got to do more. For you to give
Yeah.
yourself a B plus, that means you gotta have you must have attended the University of IFLAT. You gotta have been in the University of IFLAT. Thank you so much. Do appreciate your time. Hope to
You
see you
most
back
welcome.
soon. Are you
Yes.
gonna return after tonight?
I will, Mark. You know I don't back down to anything, Mark. I will return. I will return.
Looking
So,
forward to see you more,
yes, my
and
dear.
looking
So,
forward to see you do more out there on the ground for the people.
thank
Thank you
you
so
very
much,
much,
Ms.
Mark.
Ferguson.
May God richly bless you, and thank you to your wonderful
I've never
audience
seen
too.
you rush off this show so fast. I
No,
know you're
Mark.
coming out the air and you're going to pick up the Bible and pray for the one, stamp out the one, and shout, look what they're doing. And you're going to even speak in tongue of blah, 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 and shout. Thank you so much, man.
Good. You're most
Appreciate your
welcome.
time.
Bye bye. Good. God bless.
Anna Ferguson there, Shadow Minister of Housing. She's even rushed off the back screen. She's gone out of the studio so quickly. Guys, as elected officials, we really do want to see them do their best, and we want them more out there to represent the interest of the people. I didn't invite her to just bash her like that, but she gotta answer the tough questions. I'm not going to be soft on them again. I'm not going to. They come on, they're going to have to answer the tough questions. I've been a soft guy for a while. Those of you who know me know that I'm not soft at all. And I stopped being soft. I stopped smiling and skinning my teeth with these elected officials. They got to take their gloves off. They got to take their socks off. And they got to go out there and work for the best interest, in the best interest of the people. Enough is enough. Too much skin teeth. Too much sitting down in air-conditioned offices and saying that you're walking and you got to go out there. I want to see your feet get mud in it. I want you to roll up your sleeves and go out there in the trenches and work for the people. Sweet by politics can't walk no more. If y'all want to see the back of the PPP, sweet by and sweet girl politics can't walk no more. It's done. I'm done being nice with you guys. I'm finished being nice with you guys. Go out and work for the people. That is what you guys are being paid for, to work for the people. If you can't be an MP, and if you got to complain, man, this, and also, do not be an MP. Tell them you don't want to be an MP. Go and sell dog food, or pulori, or sweet rice. Go and find some other profession, but don't waste the people's time. Don't just dress up to go in Parliament once in a blue moon and feel that that's the biggest thing since sliced bread. Go out and walk, as we say in Guyana. Some may be vexed, but that's okay. People oftentimes get vexed with me, man. I'm out of here. I got to go. Wedding bells ringing. Money's got to come in. Money. Where the money? Good night to the police force. Money upon monies upon monies upon monies. I'm out of here, guys. Love you all. Trust me. I do. God bless you. Mwah.
So if I got children, I must suffer them to take what I don't want to eat for myself. That is totally wrong.
What?
And the parents got to stand up.
Rhonda, really thank you for taking time out. I'm not going to let you go now. I know you're a very brave person. You're out there in front of GCOM. We're not seeing a lot of people out there, but give us an update on the protest every week in front of GCOM.
Tuesday we had 8 persons. Essentially.
One second, Rhonda. I kind of like, honestly, I like that laugh. I'm going to rephrase, I'm going to ask the question again. And
Man, don't make me laugh, man. I tell you.
Rhonda, one second. One second, Rhonda. I'll ask you the question again. Rhonda, can you give us an update on the protest in front of GCOM?
Man, he has 8 persons at the protest.
One day me been a bamboo down, and me see Tyra lay down there, and me ask see Tyra what she do there. See Tyra ice up she penny good wine like a boxing good. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day.
Sunday morning I was passing, and me see Tyra lay down there, and me ask see Tyra what she do there. See Tyra ice up she penny good wine like a boxing good. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. See Tyra move and day, oh see Tyra move and day. Shake, Tyra, shake, Tyra, shake, Tyra, oh.
One day me been a wakana, and me see Tyra pon the dance.